So, is your relationship with her like after what happened? Well, during the abuse, I couldn't stand my mother. I would go as far as to say that I hated her. I did not trust her. She was not an ally. After she found out what was happening to me, she tried one time that I was aware of to do something. And after that, she blamed me. So again, if you watch the show, there are a lot of holes. Not every question is answered. Obviously, not every question is answered in my book. Not every question is answered in my blog. It's just so much when you have lived this type of life for as long as I have lived it, days and days and days and days and days and incidents. There's so much. So, no, there was a point between the ages of 10 and 15, I could not stand my mother. She, as far as I was concerned, was just as bad as my father. She did not help me in a lot of cases. There were certain things that she did and said that made my life even more of a living hell. I would confide in her and she would go and tell my father, and I would be punished by him for that. And punishment was not good at all. So, but I chose to forgive her. So into my adulthood, especially after we escaped my father, I chose to build a relationship with her. Now it's a little different. After my brother died, that changed a lot in my family, and it definitely had an impact on my relationship with my mother. So I think a lot of things were brought to the forefront, some issues that were not addressed, and so there's definitely, we're on some rocky ground right now, but I still wish her the best, all the best for my entire family. And we are spiritual beings having human experiences, and we are far from perfect. So I say, as long as you're learning and growing, then you're good with me. If you're stagnant, then that's another issue. Let's see. Have your siblings been able to overcome things as well as it appears you have? That would be a hard question to answer. As a survivor of abuse, we all heal differently. I don't really speak about my siblings and their experience because they have chosen a different path than I have. They have decided to remain anonymous and not speak about the things that happen in our family. So I will respect their wishes because we all heal differently. I can attest to you that raising awareness and helping others contributes to my healing. But I know that because I've experienced that. So I do have to say, I hypothesized it at one point, but they just chose a different way. So I still love them, and you probably run into them one day. Who knows? Question is, do you have a belief and faith in God after all this? Yes, yes, and yes. I say that not only do I believe in God, but I know God. I'm not religious. I don't follow Christianity or Catholicism or Buddhism. I believe that there is truth in all religions, and religion is an attempt based on culture to interact with the divine. So depending on which culture that you're from, however you were brought up, whatever the history of your peoples were, you create what was created in that society was a set of rules and bylaws to interact with a greater power. So, Christians believe in Jesus Christ and the Trinity. Buddhism believes in samsara and nirvana and dharma and karma, and Confucianism is focused on the hierarchy in a family and doing good and helping others. I think that if you take all religions that you and take the best parts of each one, then you would probably have an ideal way to interact with the divine. I do believe in God. I know God, as I said before. I have since I was a very little girl. And paradoxically, it was my father who taught me about God. So I guess, I had no other choice in that matter, being that he and my mom were the ones that raised me and taught me most of everything that I know up to a certain age. But through my dreams and my own human experience, I believe that I have made contact with divine in my own way that I'm sure a lot of people do. Maybe they just don't recognize it. But one incident I speak about in my book, and I believe that if you want to make any change in the world, everyone has to contribute. And the statistics are so high, honestly. Everyone has been affected by sexual assault or child abuse. When you have something that says 1 in 4 women have been molested as a child, but that's only based on what's reported. There are so many out there that have not reported anything. And the best thing that we all can do is to educate ourselves. Well, that would be the first step. The next step would be to, yes, actually make some kind of action. And if you yourself cannot make a direct action, definitely support those that can and are, such as Precious Little Ladies Incorporated. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, PLL Nonprofit. Follow me on Instagram, Aziza Kabibi. Right on Facebook, PLL Nonprofit, Aziza.unashamed. YouTube, PLL Nonprofit, Aziza Kabibi. There is a host of information, more videos of me and poetry that I do, everything that I do with my children, because it's really about, removing some of the stigmas, making the conversation comfortable enough so that it could be had on a regular basis. So we could together find solutions and develop preventative measures and just get an idea of what's really going on in the heads of not just survivors and victims, but also abusers. And for me, I have a choice. So I have chosen to not waste my power to choose on being self-pitiful or, falling into despair or abusing drugs or alcohol or anything else that is associated with a traumatic experience. Instead, I take my choices, my power to choose, and invest it on love and helping others and bettering myself and growing and changing and just ultimately being happy. So often when people ask me, well, how can you do what you do? How are you in the mind state that you are in? How are you so positive? And trust me, I have my bad days, but at the same time, I do not want to take the time that I have and the freedom that I have and waste it on being miserable. So if you can use me and what I do as an example to better your life and encourage, then thank you. You're helping me. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my website, azizakabibi.com, because I will be sending out blasts of the new things that are coming up and when I'm going to do book signings and speaking engagements and all that other good stuff. So if you want to know more, definitely stay connected. All right? Be blessed, for you are a blessing. That better have recorded.